Alright, I had to go change. I had to go change and put on a different shirt and go get my iPad so that I can make sure that you guys can see the things that I see. I'm going to talk about why I never join a coven or a group. Okay. I'm trying to get my herbs burning right now. All right. Okay. Oh, and this is a different resin I got. It's frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, honey. It's a couple of other things. Then the little green pieces you see are cedar. All right, let's get to this. Now, I was talking about, and I mentioned in another video, how the reason why I would never join a coven or a group. Now, a lot of people, and you don't know this, a lot of people on YouTube are slaves to jinn. They're, you have malevolent spirits. You have spirits that just don't want to be involved in the spiritual fight. And then you have your fallen angels that pose like they're angels of the light. And then you have ones that are just known as jinn. Like in the Middle East, they just call them fucking jinn. Because when I came across them, I said jinn, they didn't fucking get mad. I was told by someone a long time ago they don't like being called that. But I think that's just part of the deceiving process that goes on that a lot of people don't understand. Now, these things will have people commit themselves to them. And then they end up becoming slaves. And then they go and they try to recruit other people who don't know any better to do these tasks or rituals. And next thing you know, you got fucking hell on wheels in your life. You don't know why all your shit is falling apart. And that's because you had an assassin spirit. A spirit of assassination. They can assassinate your character. They can assassinate your lifestyle, your finances. There's different ones, and you just don't understand why. And that's because following somebody on YouTube or going to a bodega, not knowing who the fuck you're fucking with, open some back doors. Now, there's a lot of people who deal with Santeria, and you have people who are actually masters of those spirits, who know how to control them and trap them. And then you have the majority of the people, who are 99.9%, are slaves of them. And then what they'll try to do is recruit you, teach you a lot of truth, but there'll be white lies involved in it, and you don't know what it is that you're actually dealing with until you're fucking head in and you're like a fish out of water, not being able to control things or don't know what's going on in your life, and then it'll kind of dawn on you. Another reason why I don't have a lot of statues and stuff in my house anymore is because through experience and research and being told by some jinn themselves that they're the same people, they're the same, not people, but they're the same spirits over and over again. And they, some are groups and they'll take turns posing as that same entity while they cipher energy. And then others are, they don't share the energy, and then they have they're like a general, army general, and then they have all these other malevolent spirits underneath them working for them. So usually what happens during the initiation process, let me turn this off real quick. Usually what happens during the initiation process is all the jinn, or whatever jinn that these, depends on what religious belief it is, or what type of group it is, they'll pray to these jinn, and the jinn will get around and decide which one of them is going to take this new slave. And when I say slave, that's exactly how they look at human beings, because they don't want you to know the power that you have without them. They don't want you to they want you to be in a certain amount of ignorance to think that you need them for certain things, and you really don't. Then you have the rogue jinn that'll fucking help you with shit, and then they'll come in and approach you and then give you an ultimatum like, you know, I'll give you this if you just, you know, roll with me, if you walk with me, or you let me walk with you, when in actuality you're walking under them. These people are so ass backwards. You know, you ask somebody to do something for you and they do their own shit. It's just hilarious. So after moving and learning a lot of stuff, I kind of had an idea, but I couldn't just make an accusation without going and discovering it for myself. I created an herb batch mixed with sea salt, and I put it under my threshold. I hid it. There's a lot of places you'll go to, they'll just have so much salt piled up that you can see it right underneath their door. Me, I hide it under my threshold. You see that big black weather stripping under my door? When I open it, there's a threshold. And underneath that threshold, there's a space, and I filled that space up with the herbs and the salt. I know that was kind of out of context, but it's just very important for a lot of people to know. Now, when I did have my conversation with these jinn, I'm not going to go into everything that I was told, because it's not for every human being to know. But a lot of people are being tricked, and there's a lot of children too. Lots and lots of children with the music, and you know, you got these new little witches that are on there and on YouTube. A lot of deceivers, you guys. When I say deceivers, I mean people that they talk a good fucking game. They will sit there and have you thinking they know their way through the whole fucking matrix and still be living at home with their parents. Haven't discovered the world, haven't experienced not one thing. It doesn't mean they're not knowledgeable. It's just applying the knowledge. How do you teach somebody how to apply knowledge when you're not doing it yourself? All right. Now, let me see. I can pull this up. So a lot of these people that are actually slaves to jinn, they are granted powers because jinn, or how would some people would say fallen angels, are masters of disguise. They can turn themselves into objects. They can turn themselves into like pieces of nature, pieces of water. They can turn themselves into a chair. They can turn themselves into a car. If you go back and you read like old stories from the Bible, which are stolen from other texts, they will talk about was it the king of Persia, and was it the king of Persia? And I think he had some dealings with a jinn or a wizard. Sorry guys, I gotta fix my tulips. All right, this being basically turned itself into whatever the king had wished for. Nobody else could do it, but the guy who had got it done was actually jinn in disguise. So I'm going to read a little bit of this to you guys. Many people do not know the other creatures that share this world with us. which are jinn and devils? What about the creatures which are known to be living right here with us in earth? They share our houses, they eat and drink with us. Let's cancel that, because I don't have shit in my house and I don't share my food with these things. Okay? But a lot of people do. I'm going to give you an example. A lot of hoarders, people who deal with big spouts of depression. Now, I'm not talking about going through an energy shift change. I'm talking about people who are just fucking depressed, don't take care of themselves. They always like, woe me. Usually those people have things attached to them that are feeding off of them. If you ever saw a fish tank and you see the little fish that kind of looks like a shark, but it sucks on the glass and it eats all the poo and stuff, it's the same fucking shit. They eat off of negative energy, sadness, depression, anger, and things like that. I know I've mentioned that before in other videos. In fact, they're even capable of spoiling your thoughts and your hearts, which is very true. They're capable of doing those things to people who have white noise in their brains. And what I mean by white noise, it just means that your mind is always busy and always thinking, and it may sound like you, but the majority of the time it is not. I had that going on for a long time. Like, somebody would be in my kitchen, I'd be like, this motherfucker in my kitchen, fuck my shit up. Let me tell this motherfucker about themselves. It's just something, a malevolent spirit trying to cause an argument. And once I figured all of that stuff out, it stopped. I have like silence. I don't have those thoughts that come in my head like, what do I need to do? I need to do this. I need to do that. As soon as it starts, I go and I take a salt bath because I know what's going on. Hold on. Okay, that was a waste of time. All right, my phone's dying. Where are you? Where are you? You're on the train? Yeah, you excited? Woo! Yay! Yeah, you have to give Grandma a big hug and a kiss and tell her thank you, okay? You did? Okay, that's my big girl. I want you to stay warm and I want you to have lots of fun and I want you to take pictures for Mom, okay? Okay, stay warm. I love you. I see. So you can be sugared out all day. You need to chill out with that sugar. All right, Dad, I'll talk to you guys later. Call me when you're done. Bye-bye. I love you. She looks so happy. That is so cute. Her dad took her somewhere and it was a surprise. Oh. Anyway, back to my dry lips. All right, here we go. They drive people to destroy their own species. They can make people, I'm changing the words because I don't want to program anything to anyone who's listening who may have that going on in their life or whatever. They make people associate them in worship. And this says Allah because it's the Eastern religion, but it could be Jesus, it could be a lot of things, you guys. And you know what I noticed when I was caught up in that shit is that a lot of Christians will justify their actions and do some fucked up shit and be like, well, I'm separated from the tares. I'm a piece of wheat, and they try to justify their actions when in all actuality it's low energy, low frequency behavior, period, regardless of who you're worshiping. One of my main reasons for taking a break on videos, aside from the ups and downs, because I did manifest, but I went through a big ass test before I got the things that I had on my vision board. When I say I went through a big ass test, like living in the hood, not, you know, starting all over again, like opening my eyes with the biggest fears all surrounding me, like, oh my goodness, how did I fucking get here again? After all the years that I've had my money and been hustling and using my mind, how did I get in this position all over again? It was to see if I truly, honestly believed in myself and the things that I was doing. Once I pulled myself out of that environment and the things that were happening around me, it just started popping off all over again. Manifesting like crazy. People helping me that would never help me in a million years, you guys. Okay. The jinn are a world of their own, different from that of humans and angels. So they consider them different, but sometimes I bunch them in with fallen angels because they're shapeshifters and they can appear to you as an angel. And I noticed a lot in magic, a lot of people call on the angel Michael, and a lot of times it'd be Apollo, or that jinn or whatever. So they do, however, possess some common characteristics with human beings, such as the ability to think and reflect. Likewise, they have the ability to choose between good and evil. However, they subsequently differ from humans in one very important characteristic, or rather property, their origin. They are called jinn because they are obscured from human sight. And that is true to a certain extent. If they want to appear to you, they will appear to you. When I say these things are fucking huge, man. They are huge. They are, the ones that I saw were as tall as my old apartment building. So when I did see them and they approached me and they surrounded me, their faces were so far away. They were like so high up in the sky until they shrunk themselves down to try to not make me afraid. Because how can you convince somebody that going into a certain order of magic is okay if they're going to be afraid? You have to come looking and appearing like a rose and smelling good and looking good. You know, you can't just be all fucking frightening and scary to somebody. Especially if they're already cautious, very cautious, and stepped out of a religious order, and they're already weary of things that they're being told. So, a lot of them can also appear like a smokeless flame. It'll just be like the blue in a lighter. Let me show you, because this is what I kind of saw before I seen them appear. Let me see if I can get it. You see the blue part of the flame? They were like that. And then it fucking reminded me, it all started hitting me at one time, like, oh, Aladdin, the genie, like, all that shit just started making sense, desensitizing children to it to make them think that, okay, when they finally see it, it's no big deal, it's okay. Another thing that kind of fucking made me stumble on my path of enlightenment was the fact that I found out there was so many covens sitting in churches, Christian churches, Catholic churches, going to mosques, sitting in the mosque pretending like, well, I can't even say pretending, because these people would really believe in the religious text, but they were there ciphering energy. Ciphering fucking energy like a motherfucker, and using those same texts as protection rituals and rituals to manifest things. It was just mind-boggling to find that shit out. Like, I thought it was just maybe one family that somebody had spoke to, but then when I went and got back into it and saw that there were like big covens, like groups of 5 and 10 coming in those places, asking people where they're from, what their first name is, how old they are, just to get a generalized ideas so that they can track them and call on the malevolent spirits that may have surrounded that person at one point in their life or came in the building with those people. Because they can do that. That's why you have these rogue preachers and shit doing the crazy shit that they're doing, because they have attachments to them. So they have to be able to enter into those buildings. So yeah, people say it's a smokeless flame of fire that is mixed with the blackness of fire and heated, recorded by Muslim authorities. Now, angels were created from light, the jinn were created from a smokeless flame of fire, and Adam was created from what has been described to you. Adam is the human, you know, the atom, protons, neutrons, and all that other scientific stuff, which I'm pretty sure a lot of guys on YouTube have already covered. The jinn were created before mankind. That's why they're so intelligent. That's why they know the things they know. They can go back generations and generations for contracts that they had. Old previous family members signed into spiritual contracts that need to be broken, that a lot of people don't understand. The contract of a broken heart, having troubles in your marriage, your love life, contracts of poverty, contracts of miscarriages, just all kind of fucking shit you have to think about in your life that's holding you back, that can be a contract that an ancestor signed up for that you're now fucking dealing with, and I'm gonna cancel that somebody can be dealing with and just be unknowingly dealing with those type of things. Okay, so they can also pose as microorganisms. You know, scientists discover these new types of energy and don't even know that it could be just jinn energy that they're picking up on. They just have to have some scientific, mathematic notion. And another thing I learned from one of these ancient books, because I ended up getting so deep into this shit that I got invited to the School of Alchemy that's in San Jose, California. It's a very private school. Their books, I think the minimum of their books in their classes are like $800 and up, because they're all ancient books. And I'll get into those in another video, because I caught some of them damn books from some of the people that were trying to get me to attend the school. Now, let's see. There are no distinguishing characteristics that can tell you the difference between a jinn and a fallen angel, because I told you they shapeshifters, so they can just appear as anything. So the main reason why I pulled down the statues is because I never at one point was worshiping them, but they can cipher energy off my altars. They can hide in them. And shiny objects. They can hide in shiny objects as well. That's why a lot of people have a thing about mirrors. And what they'll do is they'll pose as a god, and there'll be some old ass god who has been remade and remixed into some new shit. Somebody thinks that they're getting into a belief of some new type of custom, and it's the same old fucking spirit. Let me change that. Not spirit, but entity. Fucking with someone. Or trying to feed off of a human being. Alright. They are more kind of like humans when it comes to some beliefs and stuff. A belief system. Because they have to vibrate on certain energies in order to feed and trick people. If they're just totally out of this world, then it would serve no purpose to fucking have dealings with human beings at all. Let's see here. They're responsible for their own actions, and they receive ordainments from the Creator So just like I said, you know, you get somebody to trick you into opening some back doors. You don't know what the fuck you're dealing with, and you, not you, but someone can welcome those beings into their life. Let's see here. And another thing is they like, a lot of them that cause a lot of mischief and trouble, they love dirty places. Like piles of dirty laundry that are smelly. If you have children, they peed on the floor and it's stuck in your carpet. They like to like linger or come through and use that as a portal. Bathrooms, they can come up through the toilet where all the shit and stuff is, because a lot of people, when they want to call on some fucking heavy strong gin, they'll go to a sewer and do a ritual there and drop the shit in the sewer. Or some people will cover themselves in their own feces. Some people will pee. The shit is fucking crazy, you guys. You guys really, like, they use like carcasses of animals to try to come through for portals. And that's why a lot of people of a Muslim belief don't fuck with beaches at night, or fuck with they don't go camping, you know what I'm saying? You don't see motherfuckers camping around the campfire at night. But if you know what I know, you could burn herbs and stuff in your campfire and you know, secure the grounds and you'll be good. But let's get back into this. They don't really have a sex, but then you have some that just like to appear as a feminine energy, and then some as a masculine energy. They can't go beyond the limits set to them. So, you know, you could set limits. You keep your fucking bathrooms and stuff clean. That was one thing I learned from the Order of the Santeria. And I'm just proud that I never fucking promised my spirit or anything to any type of order, because there's so much learning and so many things that I have learned about myself over these past months that it's not even funny. So, let's see. So in a Jewish belief, they fuck with jinn like hardcore. And because I live up here in these hills, you have to break down the word etymology. I live in Bel Air. Who is Bel? What is the spirit of Bel? He controls the air. So these people know exactly what the fuck they're doing when they have lavender, rosemary in front of their house to try to protect their house. When they leave before sunset, and they have their big black hats, which represents Saturn. They wearing black, which represents Saturn. When someone gets married and you get the ring on your finger, that's the ring of Saturn. There's an old fable that says your ring finger connects to your heart, which is BS. It's complete BS. You can look it up on the internet. And a lot of people in Santeria, the first thing they'll tell you is like, if you have problems with negative energy, to stop wearing black, because you're bringing in Saturn energy, which is corrective energy. And a lot of people know how to harness and work with that energy and control it. So, given all of that, that was the main reason why I didn't fuck with anything. And you never really know someone's true intentions. You could be doing a ritual with somebody and they could be thinking ill of you and having another ritual going on in their fucking head, while you think you're doing another ritual to complete a task or get something done, and it don't even work out that way. So you have to be very careful with that. Still burn these herbs on this tiny little piece of coal that I got left. All right. So I'm into the 30-minute mark. I am going to go to another video, and I'm going to talk about the cross, where it originated from and what it was originally used for. And yeah, let's go to that.